Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're going to dive into something really cool. It's like learning the secret language of your own body. We're talking about those subtle signals it sends when it's practically crying out for key nutrients. Think of yourself as a detective for your own health.
So, have you ever felt that? Just tired, a bit foggy, maybe just kinda off? It's a feeling we all know, right? That nagging fatigue or brain fog where you just know something isn't quite right. And it's so easy to blame stress or, oh, I didn't get enough sleep. But what if the real answer isn't just about more rest? What if it's about giving your body the right fuel?
Okay, and this is where it gets really interesting. Think about these things. We all just dismiss them as, minor annoyances. See a little white spot on your nail? Peef, I must have bumped it. Suddenly craving ice like crazy? It's just a weird habit. But here's the thing. What if those aren't random? What if they're actually your body's early warning system, like little flares being sent up, pointing straight to a nutrient gap?
Okay, so here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to talk about why your body is even talking to you like this. Then we'll get into why these nutrient gaps are so darn common. We'll cover the big food first rule, and then the really fun part. We'll decode the signals and figure out your whole food fix. Let's do it.
So first things first, learning to listen. Because those little signs we just talked about, the cracks, the cramps, even the weird cravings, they are not random. Nope. They are some of the very first clues that your internal system is a little off balance and is basically asking you for some backup. Which brings up a huge question, right? Why are so many of us basically running on empty? I mean, even if you're really trying to eat healthy, modern life just has a way of throwing a few curveballs that can make it tough to stay fully nourished. Well, it really boils down to three core problems. First, you could be eating the best food in the world, but your gut might not be absorbing it properly. Second, the food itself, well, it just might not be as nutritious as it was, say, 50 years ago. And third, and this one is huge, all those refined processed foods and sugars, they don't just give you empty calories, they are actively stealing the good nutrients you already have in your system. Let's zoom in on that first one, because it's a biggie. Poor absorption. The technical term is malabsorption. Just picture your small intestine, okay? It's like a super important gatekeeper. If that gatekeeper is damaged or distracted, let's say, it literally doesn't matter how much amazing nutrient-dense food you're eating, the good stuff just can't get past the gate. It's like it just passes right on through without ever getting used. Okay, so before we get into the nitty-gritty of the fixes, we've got to talk about one thing. It's like the golden rule, the single most powerful principle for actually closing these nutrient gaps for good. And this quote from Harvard Health just nails it. The idea is that vitamins and minerals are most powerful when they come from actual food. Why? Because in food, they're not alone. They come with this whole entourage of other beneficial nutrients that you just don't find in most supplements. It's like this. A supplement might be like a solo violin. Beautiful, sure. But whole food? That's the entire orchestra playing in perfect harmony. It's a completely different experience. All right, let's get to the part I know you've been waiting for. This is our decoding guide. This is where we play detective and connect those subtle physical signs to what your body is actually asking for. And most importantly, we're going to link them to the real whole foods that can help you feel amazing. Okay, let's start with the outside stuff, your skin, hair, and nails. Think of them as the dashboard on your car. Are your hair and nails getting brittle? That could be a call for more biotin, which you can get from things like eggs and nuts. What about flaky skin, especially kind of around your nose? That's a classic sign you might need more omega-3s from fatty fish like salmon. And you know those little white bumps a lot of people get on the back of their arms? That can actually be your body's way of saying, hey, I need more vitamin A and C over here. Next up, let's talk about your mouth. It's another huge indicator of what's going on inside. For example, bleeding gums. It's not always just because you're brushing too hard. It's actually a classic sign you might be low in vitamin C. Or what about those super annoying, painful little cracks you get at the corners of your mouth? That often points right to a vitamin B2 deficiency. And this one's wild. If you find yourself having trouble seeing when you're driving at night, it could be a sign you need more vitamin A. It's that crucial for your vision. And of course, it's not just physical. How you feel is so connected to your nutrition. I'm talking about that bone-deep fatigue that so many of us just accept as normal. That can be your body screaming for iron, B12, or magnesium. Feel irritable all the time or your mind just won't shut off at night? Check your vitamin B1. And a persistent low mood? I mean, the link to vitamin D deficiency is really well established now, and so many of us are low in it, especially if you're not getting a ton of sun.
And let's not forget our muscles and bones. Ever get those sudden, horrible leg cramps in the middle of the night? That is a classic call for more magnesium. You can get that from leafy greens and nuts. A stiff, achy lower back, before you blame your mattress, it could actually be a sign of low vitamin D. And that super frustrating, can't stop moving your legs feeling, restless leg syndrome, yeah, that's very often linked to low iron.
Okay, so that's a lot of information, right? The big question is, what do we do with it? How do we turn all this decoding into real, actual steps you can take today? Well, let's put it all together. Let's actually build a sample day of eating that's just packed with these amazing foods. I promise, it's simpler than you think.
Now look, this is not about some crazy, strict diet. Think of it as a template, an idea. You could start your day with some eggs and spinach. Boom, you're loading up on B vitamins, iron, and biotin. For lunch, how about a huge salad with some salmon on top? You just covered your potassium, magnesium, and those all-important omega-3s. Dinner could be some grass-fed beef, which gives you that really absorbable heme iron and zinc. And for a snack, yes, you can have a snack. A handful of almonds and a piece of dark chocolate. That's a delicious way to get more magnesium.
And to make it even easier, here's a shopping list. Just focus on getting these powerhouse foods into your cart every week. Your foundation is dark leafy greens, fatty fish, and good quality meats. Then you've got your awesome supporting players, like eggs, nuts, and seeds. Seriously, think of this list as your personal toolkit for building a stronger, more resilient, and way better nourished body. You're just doing it one meal at a time. So let's be clear. The takeaway here is not to panic or self-diagnose over every little thing. Not at all. It's just about developing a new kind of awareness. It's about learning to tune in, to listen, and to interpret that subtle language your body is using all the time so that you can give it the nourishment it's actually asking for. Because when you learn to listen and you respond with real, delicious, nutrient-packed food, not just a pill, you are taking the power back. You're not guessing anymore. You're actually having a conversation with your own body. You're taking an active role in your own well-being, and that's a total game changer.